Today we are going to talk about how to very easily back up your WordPress website so that you always have a copy of all of the information that has created a site should you need it for the future. Now, I will say to you, you may not think this is very important now, but trust me, it is very important. It is probably pretty much one of the top 3 things that you want to do when setting up your site, just so you have the information should anything go wrong with it. Unfortunately, sometimes people actually just forget to renew their domains or renew their hosting or other things like that, just don't make the connectivity. I have had clients, unfortunately, where their websites literally just disappear. It does happen, unfortunately. It is very rare, but you also always want to have that backup so that you can restore it and have your site, of course, up and functioning as it should be at all times. So what you want to do is go to the plugin area of your site. Once you log in, come down to the left-hand menu, and you're going to find the plugin section here. We already have this plugin installed, but if you do not and you're starting new, you're going to go to Add New, and you're going to go to look for this plugin right here. So say we just were looking to add a new one. We could go and search for plugins right here under the search section and look for that plugin. It is called UpdraftPlus. There are several that you can use to back up your site, but this is just one that I use on a regular basis. I like it a lot. You can update it back to your for several versions, 2 or 3 versions of your website, or you can keep a certain number of backups with it. You can actually connect it back to Google Drive or to Dropbox and select a location where you want those files to go. I suggest you do that in addition to having your host have the files for you so that, again, you have them at all times. So this is the plugin here. It's called UpdraftPlus. It is free as of the time of this recording, and it has some different features that you can go and do some different things with it. So you can read a little bit more about how it works. So oftentimes it will show you that what version of WordPress it's compatible with, and you can see some things that people say about it, how to back up your site, how to restore it, and why you would want to migrate or do things like that with it. So we have that plugin already installed here. So the way that you want to actually set it up is you have to go, once it's created here in your plugin list and it is activated, you want to go to these settings. So don't forget to activate that plugin when it comes in and go to the settings section so you can set up and select a location for the backup of the site. So oftentimes these plugins have all kinds of different messages and updates and things like that for you to know what is happening with them, any things you should be aware of, any updates going on. So just trust that they'll have the information for you there, and you can read through and see what things are applicable to your site and your setup right now. So you can go ahead, it tells you here to change any settings. Go to the settings tab. Of course, we're going to do that. But this is just the main backup restore tab. It'll show you when the times are that it will can do a backup. You can actually go and back up your site now. Often it's a good idea to do that when you have plugins that are being updated. Not every time, but often plugins will get updated, which provide the functionality to your site, and they will say, this is a major update. We suggest you back up your site now before updating. And this is where you would go ahead and do that. And so you can read through the information here. You can see what backups have happened to the site and go ahead and look at those, etc. And click to access the information then later when you do need it. So you can restore, you can delete backups, etc. The main tab here you want to pay attention to is the settings one, where it says any of the settings in terms of what the backup actually does. I would leave what is default on here. Feel free, of course, to read through UpdraftPlus and how it works to learn more about that functionality for your site. But what you want to pay attention to is this section right here where it says choose your remote storage. And you want to pick one of these for where you want to back up your site too. So this will be different maybe for everyone. Perhaps you use Dropbox, perhaps you want to put it on Google Cloud or Drive or some other place like that you would like to have your files. So you can select one of these, and then you're going to walk through any of the settings that it asks you to do. So you would go through and select where the folder that it is, you're going to sign in to Google, for example, to do this. You're going to check mark all of these things that you would want it to back up, and then you're going to walk through and save the changes and do all those. I am not going to do this now because this is someone else's site that I'm working with, and I am going to make sure that they do it actually, and it backed up to their Google Drive and not mine. So we would actually have them do that as well. So that's how you would back up your website by a simple plugin. I like the UpdraftPlus one. Again, there are other options. You can read through about those, but this is how you would activate that plugin. Go to the settings, select your backup location, and set it up so your site is backed up. And then what I would suggest you do is go over to the Drive folder where it is supposed to be, check to see that the files are actually there when you do a backup, and you will have your site files ready for you should you need them in the future.